Hey there folks, how's it going? SociopathicOtter here, and it's time for some more Chrono Trigger. You get it? Time travel. The next choice that comes up is also very interesting and also very unique. Chrono Trigger is definitely a game where it throws a lot of interesting things at you at once, so that while you're still reeling from one thing, you move on to the next thing. So, this is an interesting little segment of the game. In 3 days, I'm scheduled to be executed. If I wait the 3 days, then just as I'm led to the guillotine, Luca pops in and saves me. But I can orchestrate a little prison break here and not have to rely on that. And I'm kind of impatient when it comes to video games. I'm not a big fan of waiting. So I'm just going to bang on the doors. Ooh, I'll show him. Open it up. And of course, they come in with a sword. And for some really stupid reason, they don't take Crono's katana away from him. Which, I don't know what the deal is with this prison system. He's found not guilty, his trial doesn't matter, and yet he still has a weapon. Fascinating proceedings. Oh wow, I'm one-hitting people now? Oh, that's sick. That's really cool. Okay, awesome. And just like that, I've regained my freedom. But before I regain my freedom fully, prison break time. Okay, these guys are pretty interesting. I usually just try to go past them if I can. I think this actually isn't the way I'm supposed to be going. It's been a while since I've done the prison break section. Probably a year since I've played this part of the game. Oh, just kidding. I am supposed to go this way. Or am I not? Well, we'll see. Wow, these guys have no sense of object permanence whatsoever. I just snuck up behind the guard and pushed the lever, but hey, no problem. No problem for me either. Well, I guess there's no lack of object permanence if he just didn't see me, but definitely very concerning. Okay, one full tonic, which is great, one wooden sword, one mid tonic, and one iron helm. Very nice. And so this wood sword is kind of junk, because it's exactly what I have right now. Okay, awesome. And I don't know what happened to this guy's body. Maybe Crono is just really good at disposing of evidence. I don't know. And we've got this jailer here. It reminds me of that scene in Breaking Bad, actually, where Walt and the other guy, what's his name, Jesse? They try to dissolve the guy in acid, and it does not work out too well for them. Technically, they do dissolve the guy, but not the prettiest sight for sure. So, this interesting little thing where Crono actually disposes of the body in a scarily and unfortunately efficient way got me thinking about the differences between games and TV in terms of how games have an additional component of the player actually influencing the events, so they can't have the same kind of internal consistency and the same kind of logic underlying the systems of the character's movements and ideas and thought processes in a way that TV can. That sounds a little abstract, so I'll try to connect it back to Chrono Trigger here. Basically, in Chrono Trigger, he got rid of the armor and the guy, and he put him somewhere in such a way that the knight is not going to respawn anytime soon. But of course, that's not the real reason why the knight is gone. The real reason why the knight is gone is because I left the room and the game was coded such that the sprite is removed if the enemy is defeated and Crono leaves the room. So it's interesting to me that you can joke about all these sorts of things where Crono actually takes care of the knight in more than one way, but it's not necessarily consistent with the message of the game. Of course, it kind of kills the joke a little bit to analyze it, but I did think it was particularly fascinating that Crono kind of acts like this do-gooder and this hero, this force against evil, and yet you can look at this one game mechanic as a really interesting quirk to say, well, but is he an anti-hero? Is he kind of like a guy from Watchmen instead of a guy from Superman? So killing the joke here actually provided a really interesting insight into how you have this ludonarrative dissonance between Crono being this good guy who leaves people where they need to be and only uses force when necessary, versus the very literal code saying, oh, this enemy is defeated, get rid of this sprite. I thought it was interesting that games have this kind of complexity in how they layer NPCs and how that influences the real world actions of the characters, whereas in TV, we, the viewers, don't really have any impact on what the actors do. So there's more of an internal consistency in terms of how the medium is presented to us and what happens on that medium. Kind of an interesting tangential thought, but while I was making the joke that Crono is secretly a serial killer, it got me thinking about the differences between code and art and just art. Definitely an interesting little way to bridge those together to create a final product. Okay, and that's that. Even though he's not dead, I guess I won. Very nice. And then I received a maiden suit from that fight, which is definitely pretty interesting. It's one of the best pieces of equipment for female characters. So that's Luca, Marl, and we have one more coming up. Okay, so these guys, I can either sneak right past them in the center or fight them. Okay, I guess I can just sneak right past them. Out of curiosity, if I attack them from the back... Oh! So I can ambush humans, but these guys, that's a no-go? Alright, apparently. Okay, so at least I can show off how Chrono Trigger's active time-based system is kind of interesting. Oh no, I targeted the wrong one! Okay, well that's fine. It is what it is. So if these guys are hiding behind their shields, I can't do a thing to them. So if I attack it while it's behind its shield, that's no good. But if it comes out of its shield, then I can kill it. So Chrono Trigger in this mode is actually set to wait, right? If I linger in a menu, the enemy isn't going to kill me. It's like Pokemon or Dragon Quest, it's turn-based. And yet, there are still some enemies that actually move in the ATB system, where I actually wait, and wait, and wait to attack, and it'll actually change form. By the way, there's some sort of necromancy going on here. I don't know what that's all about. So we just kind of breeze through these guys with a wooden sword, apparently. I don't know what that's all about. And we'll be okay. So I don't think I can actually get to the moon for right now, because apparently Crono is capable of great acrobatic feats, but he can't crawl. The expression, you have to crawl before you can walk, and you have to walk before you can run, definitely doesn't seem to ring true for guys with green hair. I really love this background. It's just so pretty. You got the blue and the black and the white just mixing together really well. Man, critical animations are just so satisfying. I'm really, really impressed. They feel so crisp and so precise, and it just feels like Crono has hit like a weak spot in the enemy's armor in a way that's incredibly satisfying. Okay, for this guy, you have to actually wait and then just whack him. I'm pretty impressed, because usually the guy catches me, but because I was a little more stealthy, I got a mid-tonic. Very nice. Wow, I should try playing Metal Gear Solid. My stealth is definitely doing pretty well today. Okay, so if I press this lever, I can actually save a guy from execution. So this is yet another detail of Chrono Trigger's attention to detail. Because if I actually save this guy, then he runs a shop later in an area that I think I've already actually visited. So I won't linger any longer, I'll just save this poor guy. Even though it kind of looks like I'm putting his head into the sharp part, I let him out. And so this guy's name is Fritz. So he doesn't give you any discounts when you go to a store, which is lame. But saving him does feel nice. Okay, Crono cannot equip any of those vests. That is definitely interesting. Okay, more necromancy happens, and oh, I just had a realization. So there's a bijection between each randomized item and each in-game item. That is to say, there's going to be a one-to-one relation between the randomized items and the in-game items in such a way that one will exactly replace one. So maybe what I got was equipment for Marl or Luca or Frog or somebody who isn't Crono, but it's masquerading in randomness as something that all party members should be able to adopt. Okay, so I'm 2 for 3. That's pretty good. That's a .666 average. Well, .667 actually, if you're rounding up. Wow, Crono is really killing it with these guards. I'm pretty impressed. Normally it takes me 2 hits. But then I haven't played Wings of Time before, so yet another feature of this quality of life business that it's got going on is showing up here. Okay, I'm actually supposed to go up, but I'm gonna go this way just so I can see if I can get any treasure. Okay, 1 revive, very nice. Oh wow, I could actually go through here? Oh, that guy's dead. Well, alright then. That's rather disturbing, actually. I wonder if that guy also got a pretty bad deal in his trial. Okay, yet another prison room, and we've got a couple of handcuffs. So this is set in 1000 AD? They had handcuffs? Alright. I'm not going to say my medieval history is great, but definitely interesting to see. So this is one of Crono's more interesting escapades. I guess this is the same guy who jumped haphazardly into a time portal, but definitely interesting that he does this kind of stuff. Okay, the ribbon isn't really going to help me. Okay, so I climbed all that way for... I didn't actually see what it was, but it's not equipable. How fun. By the way, I really like how the music here... Well, it's not really music, but I guess that's my point. It feels like the gusts of wind are threatening to knock Crono off. And that sort of tension really adds to the feeling of doom when Crono's just hanging by that precipice there. Pretty scary, but also pretty interesting. Okay, can I knock these guys out? Just kidding. I guess not. Well, no problem. This should be pretty straightforward. I like how the supervisor's like, help! And he's got fish eyes. And Luca's here to save the day as per usual. Gee, it looks like you didn't need my help after all. I like that. Let's blow this joint. Awesome. So if you read this manuscript here, it gives a pretty useful tip. To the prison supervisor, Dragon Tank Owner's Manual. The tank head repairs body damage. Yeah, so this is just a tank for first-time players. Guardia R&D, they have a research development lab, and they have that horrible of a trial system? Well, I guess we know what kind of court system we're dealing with here. Okay, cool. Crono and Luca are both set. I've got a decent amount of MP, and I'm ready to go. Let's just equip Luca. Okay, she's doing okay so far. Alright, awesome. Everything looks great. So theoretically, I could give Crono the silver earring, but I'm feeling pretty okay as it is. I think I'll use a tonic before I head into the boss fight, and after that, I'll be set. Wonderful. Let's do it. Oh, wait, let's not do it yet, actually. That dragon insignia is really nice looking. I really like how the red and the orange are contrasted so sharply, and the dragon image itself looks like something out of Skyrim. Very pretty stuff. Oh boy. Excellent question, Luca. What was that? I always love the character's surprise animations. Crono puts his arms up like, what in the world is going on? Oh, so now we're rebels. Before we were convicts, but now we're rebels. Alright. Very interesting classification scheme. Okay, so there's a strategy for this, which I completely forgot because I was busy mocking the Chancellor. Well, let's see what happens. I always love taking that kind of strategy in RPGs. You know, you don't really worry about strategy or anything like that. just kind of go with the flow, use the cool techniques. It's fun to turn your brain on for noticing the little details, but sometimes you just want to play dumb and just use really interesting, really dumb techniques. So, in the vanilla game, Dragon Tank is actually a very, very difficult boss, because you don't have the double tech that I'm spamming, and Crono and Luca have way less health. I think Luca has about 100 to 120 hit points more than in the base game, and Crono has, I don't know, about 100 or so. And we definitely don't have the fire tech that I'm spamming right now. So, pretty interesting stuff here. I know that you don't want to use fire moves on this wheel thing here, so I'm just going to kind of attack with some regular attacks. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this randomizer for that specific reason, because I feel that Wings of Time is going to provide me such an interesting experience in terms of not having to grind and giving me cool techniques early in such a way that I can experience the game with much less irritation and much more pleasure. So this boss fight is pretty simple so far. I'm just kind of taking out the wheel and the body one thing at a time, and it's going pretty smoothly. Okay, let's try Slash out. Oh, interesting. That's definitely a technique Crono learns later on in the game, but that's a common trend at this point. Nice. Dragon Ball style finisher. This is actually the exact move when I used to speed run this game, like once or twice, and it used to take me about, I think, an hour to reach this point. The world record was 30 minutes by comparison. You meddle. I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids. Also, I don't know how they get out of this. It seems like a no-win situation for me. Like, just the tensile force does not really seem like it should be holding them up right now, right? Like, you got the force of gravity definitely pushing them down, and I don't think they've got too much more helping them back up. Alright, so we're getting out of here. We have no choice but to break through. Man, that's pretty funny. Can these guys actually catch you? Oh, they can't. You can actually talk to them, too, and they say you're not going anywhere. That's pretty funny. And then Marl comes in. Pretty exciting. Oh, is there no sappy music? No, I guess not. There is dominance music, though. Just kidding. There is no music whatsoever. Wait, how did that guy get out already? That's crazy. That is definitely not what the physics of that situation say. Ah, see, here's the dominance music playing. Wow. What a riff. You pick up strange ideas wandering outside. Hey, that's not a very nice thing to call Crono. Wow, that's a very impressive changing job. Okay, so I don't know how Crono just ran through those guys. Maybe he pirouetted over them, I don't know. But definitely an interesting way to see him move. And as usual, we got a chase scene. There's no escape. And the only way there to escape is through this secluded little alcove and a very convenient gate. Alright, I like that. We found another puddle of Mountain Dew on the ground, and we got no other choice. No other drinks in the house, I guess. Who cares? This place stinks. Is that like an Earthbound that this game stinks? Or is it like a genuine assessment of the situation? I don't know. This is completely irrational. Let's do it. One quick note before I head into the portal. Earthbound had this pretty funny story where its marketing campaign was actually, this game stinks. Like, literally. Because there's a monster in it where he smells, and you basically have to give him honey, so he smells nicer before you kill him? I don't know. But anyway, that was the marketing thing for Earthbound. And, I guess Marl's a fan of that too. See ya, 1000 AD. Look at his face. They disappeared. This location definitely freaked me out the first time I played this game. It's so desolate. The civilization here seems so advanced. Yeah, they've already researched animal husbandry, and they probably rushed writing, just like Nebuchadnezzar. What a desolate, empty place. And so, that's just something else that's beautiful that I kind of wanted to note. Look at this tone shift. Look at how incredibly this game segues from idea to idea. You had the merriness of the fair and the heaviness of Morrow's teenage rebellion to this. Words fail me. Alright, and we head into Trandome. Look at these guys. They're so downtrodden. They're so beaten down. Got any cash? Yeah, I got cash. I like how he's like, this is money? Oh, well, I'll take it anyway. Like, wow, I wish that happened in real life. Okay, no good. I could get a steel saber for Crono, but I think I'm okay for right now. Lapis? Wow, I can buy Lapis for 500 gold? I think I'm gonna take him up on that. Actually, I'm not. I'm gonna buy some mid-tonics instead, because those are probably better. In terms of an actual deal. Great. So that's mid-tonics, that's tonics, and I think I'm doing okay. There's no ATM here. What is this guy? Alright, whatever. You find some food at Eris Dome, but only if you get past Lab 16. They don't react to weapons there. So, what are you gonna do? Magic. That's the answer. But that comes later. Kingdom? What are you talking about? And I love the little attention to lore that goes in here. These guys are being asked by the game, you know, what happened to civilization? Is there any marker of civilization here? And the answer is no. And that's just a fascinating little touch, I think. That Crono and the gang are actually asking them what happened to their hometown. It's a little detail that lets us get into psychologies of these kids. And kind of lets us understand the severity of this conflict. If you're looking for food, you lose. That's one heck of a game. Very interesting. That cute little piece of visual imagery is something we're going to unlock later. So, Trandome, is that what this is? Yes. Trandome definitely serves to show us the human destruction and human devastation that this time period has caused. But it doesn't really help us understand just what caused it. Is Bangor Dome where we came from, by the way? Yes, it is. Okay. Then I guess we're going to find that out in Lab 16. So, I've got a brief editor's note here that I realized as I was going through some of the footage for this video. I thought I was playing the Wings of Time ROM hack, which takes Chrono Trigger from this linear JRPG experience and makes it into a more open world thing, where you have all the characters and all the tech and all of the weapons at your disposal in such a way that it feels open world and feels almost Morrowind-esque. What I didn't realize is I'm actually playing Chrono Trigger Eternal Nightmare, which is another ROM hack for Chrono Trigger by the same guy. So Eternal Nightmare basically follows the same structure as the base game, but it provides some quality of life features like giving Chrono techs and allowing for interesting item combinations and all of those things that make ROM hacks so interesting. This video has actually unexpectedly yielded quite a bit of interesting analysis, so I am surprisingly and pleasantly happy with the way that it went. I think that's a pretty great place to stop for this part too. What a smooth transition, am I right? So this part we went through the whole prison break, and then after that went through Dragon Tank, and then went through a little bit of the future. So I think this is a pretty great place to stop, and next time we'll go ahead and tackle all the future stuff and go through the bosses, and it ought to be a good time. If you liked the video, maybe consider all the usual jazz, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I especially like comments, just because Chrono Trigger is a game where obviously even the little details can show up in such a way that they can appear immediately in front of you, and you may not really understand what's going on. I think there's a lot to unpack in this game, and if you think so too, then I think that's pretty cool. We can talk about that in the comments, and should be a pretty interesting ride through the rest of the game in Eternal Nightmare this time. I think that's pretty much all I've got. Peace.